Good morning and welcome to the video. Today is it, day one of the Via della Plata Camino, and we are just beside this magnificent cathedral in Seville in southern Spain. And this one has been a long time coming. We first wanted to set out and do this in 2020, but COVID of course, so we had to cancel it. So we went off and did the French Camino about 18 months ago, and now we've come back to do the one that we've always wanted to do, which is the Via della Plata. So it'll take us about, well, over 1,000 kilometres from here to Santiago de Compestela, and we are going to do this via the Sanabre. So we're just walking down the side of the cathedral at the moment, and there's a marker here, the first of many markers, which we'll get to, and that will officially kick off our Camino. So here we go, the marker for the start of the Via della Plata. Too late to pull out now, 1,006 kilometres to go. So we're going to make our way out of Seville, and after about 6 kilometres we'll arrive at a small town called Santi Ponce. We're going to stop there for a coffee, and yeah, I'll have a chat on the way. For those who are new to the channel, I'll tell you all about us and what we're doing. For those who are subscribers and rejoin, welcome back. And here we go, 46 days to Santiago de Compostela. Okay, here's our first Camino Via della Plata marker. You can see that up on the wall. So we're going to go down this way. I think in this part of the Camino, I read that the shells, where they all converge down to the narrow point, is the direction of the marker, the direction we should take. Well, we got here a couple of days ago, and we've had a good look around, so we know which way we're going to get to the river and get across the bridge. So today we have 21.9, we'll say 22 kilometres to the town of Gallina, which I think is how you pronounce it correctly, Gallina. And that will be our destination for today. That's where we'll stop and have our accommodation. And as you can probably see in the background, it's a pretty busy time of the morning here. It's just about going on to 10 to 8 in the morning, so the sun hasn't been up for too long, but everybody's sort of in a hurry to get off to work, so we're kind of in a hurry to get out of the city and leave them to it. So yeah, we are carrying a guide with us, which is right there, which is Gerald Kelly's guide, most excellent. So we'll be using that a fair bit on this trip. But yeah, here we go, we're coming up to the river now. So we have reached Triana Bridge, at least we think it's Triana Bridge, and we're crossing over. So this kind of feels like the official start of the Camino, crossing over the river, and you know, can look out beyond the city and start to see some of the countryside up ahead. So I don't know, it just feels like this is the official sort of starting point for me. Like, you know, once you cross the bridge, that's it, no turning back, you're into it. So we might stop and have a photo here because it's pretty lovely, and I'll turn the camera around. You can probably see those beautiful houses down there, all the colours. And we actually walked down along the river there yesterday. It was really, really lovely. Lots of restaurants and cafes. Well, we are on the right track. There's not many markers, but every now and again you do come across one. So we've come across the bridge and turned to right and turned to right and turned to left, and and just to confirm we're on the right track, Via della Plata marker. Always good to see markers. So we took a wrong turn. We meant to go up those stairs there, but I led the way and we kept walking straight down there. Got about maybe a kilometre down there and thought I'd better check the map. Checked the map and it was wrong, so we've come back and we think we're in the square, but there's no monument. Starting to see a few more arrows now, so that's good. We're on the right track. I just checked the interactive map we've got, and we're back on track and on our way. So there's a couple of extra kilometres under the belt for the day. That'll bring it up to 24-ish, but the day is young. There's more times to get lost for us, and maybe it will be just a common thread on this Camino. Who knows? But onwards we push. So we've come across the river again, which is the second river, and gone through the industrial area, the industrial area, which is not very pretty, but now we're on a nice track, and we are meandering along the banks of the river, and there's a pilgrim behind me, and in front of me is another pilgrim. He looks like an old fellow. Yeah, he's got a bung feet. Poor old fellow. I think that fella's seen better days. Yeah, so we walked along the riverbank. The guidebooks were pretty accurate. It was pretty in parts, and then there seems to be a few homeless people there, and a lot of rubbish strewn around the place. So we've stepped off that, and we're now coming along this really nice farmland. It's very open, but it's such a cool day. It's just wonderful walking. It is exposed, but when it's cool like this, it doesn't really matter. So we have got, I think probably maybe Santi Ponce is about 2 kilometres away from here. So that's going to be our first stop for a coffee and some breakfast. Man, I can't believe I'm on the Via della Plata. It's been such a long time coming for us, and it's March the 12th today, and with everything that's happening in the Middle East, we weren't even sure that we were going to get here, but for some reason we were really lucky. We had booked our travel so that we went through Singapore. We spent a few days in Singapore before flying from there to Paris and then down to Seville. But I know a lot of people who are flying from Australia had booked their flights usually through Emirates or Qatar, one of those airlines, and they go through Dubai, so their flights have pretty much been cancelled. So I feel for those people, because that could have been us. That's the way we usually travel. It's just this time we thought we'd break the trip up because it's such a long way from Australia. So we spent a few days in Singapore. It was just by luck that we went through there, just on that decision. So yeah, still a bit surreal that we're actually on the Via della Plata, but really happy to be here. It's been 6 years, but we're here, and so far so good. So, looks like we are coming towards the outskirts of Santi Ponce, and we're going to stop for something to eat, or breakfast anyway. So I think it's about 9.1 kilometres in total, 6 kilometres back from over the bridge there somewhere. So anyway, 9 point something, which is pretty much for us 11-ish kilometres because of the mistake we made when we first set out. So after we stop for breakfast, we are really looking forward to going to Italica, or the ruins of Italica, which was supposedly the birthplace of Hadrian, well known for Hadrian's Wall, the northernmost border of the Roman Empire. So yeah, we've been looking forward to visiting that for a while. So, but first we're going to find somewhere and have something to eat, and a cafe con leche or two, and yeah, we'll just recharge the batteries and then we'll push on. That was really nice. After, well, 9.1 kilometres, I think the official distance is to Santi Ponce, but you know, of course, we had a couple of extra kilometres there for where my wife Nerida took a wrong turn and led us. I'm only teasing, it was my fault. So yeah, we've probably done about 12 kilometres all up so far, so that was a perfect time for a break, and had a beautiful fresh bocadilla type. Yeah, I can't remember Moni queso. Jamón y queso was kind of like an open sandwich, but the bread was really fresh, and that makes a big difference. And I really enjoyed it. And that cafe con leche, oh, that was good. So batteries are recharged. So at the moment we're going to go to the monastery, which is just in front of us, and it looks like there's a lot of people there. I'll turn the camera around, and we'll try and get a stamp, but you know, if it's too much trouble then we'll just push on. Because we're mainly staying at albergues, we want the stamps in our book just to make sure there's no problem in terms of getting into an albergue and getting a bed. So here we go. Yeah, so there seems to be a lot of people here. Not sure if we have to pay to get in or anything. We're just after our lowly pilgrim stamp. I guess we'll follow the crowds and see what happens. I think one of the other pilgrims, the guy from Sweden, I think he's gone up ahead to try and get a stamp as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. 996 kilometres to go. Is that all? No, it's all good. It's wonderful. It's great to be here. So yeah, it looks like we've beat the crowd. We get in the doors, and hopefully we can get a cello for our cello for our credencial. Let's see what happens. So we came in to get our stamp, take my hat off, and we get free access to the place because we're pilgrims. So we're just going for a little walk through here. It's like most other cathedral churches, monasteries in Spain. It's, you know, just quite magnificent, really. Yeah, so let's go and have a look. I got so absorbed in this place that I forgot what I was doing, which was walking the Camino, and I still have another 14 kilometres to go. So I'm going to cruise through and find my wife and maybe hit the trail. We bumped into the other pilgrims. They did both come up here to have a look, and they've just left, so they'll be out on the trail now, and we won't be far behind them. So yeah, this is, look, if you come through Santi Ponce, this is well worth a visit. But I just remember, we're not going on the trail yet. We need to go to Italica. It's we really want to see that, so that will be our next visit. So we're going to leave the church and the monastery, and we're going to go to Italica. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be fantastic. yeah, that was awesome. So we are now going to head over to Italica and have a look at the ancient Roman ruins. Yeah, so we don't know a lot about that monastery. We probably could have stopped and asked and had a chat to the guy, but as I said, we've got 14 kilometres to go still. And we want to come up and have a look at Italica, but we think it was built in the 1300s, so it's like, it's getting up there, 800 odd years old. So I can see the sign ahead of us for, I think that will be Italica, so we're on our way there and looking forward to it. So, here we are, and I think there's a path that goes up that way or that way, and it just goes right round the sort of outside of the ruins. So we are trying to get across this roundabout, and just over there where that truck's going, when it gets out of the way you'll see an arrow there. So somehow we've got to get across here and get to that arrow, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be a bit of a run for it. Yeah, good times, we'll get there. We made it across, not without incident. There was a little step up in the road that Nerida didn't see, and down she went in the middle of the road. Poles everywhere, drink bottle bouncing down the road. Luckily there was a big break in the traffic when we crossed, so no chance of her being flattened by a semi-trailer. But yeah, our Camino didn't come to an end then. Nerida's all good. So we've managed to get to the other side of the road, and here we go. Just across this very busy road is where we're trying to get to. It's the traffic that way, and we've got to get over to there, and then we'll go into between those trees and walk along.
And that's the traffic that way.
And then that should be the end of this craziness for today. If you do this walk, it's just be careful there, because that's quite challenging to get through that maze, the roundabout, and under the bridge, trucks whizzing past, and then of course there just seems to be roads going all over the place, traffic coming from all over the place. So you keep your wits about you there. But yeah, that's it. We're finished. We're through all that, and hopefully we get a really nice path, and it looks like it's going to be nice up ahead. Okay, so we've finally made it to Guyana. I think we're going to settle on that pronunciation, Guyana, after all my ups and downs with it today. Yeah, man, it was such a great day, first day, but I'm so glad to be here. You know, we've got all those aches and pains from the first day where your body's getting used to the pack and your legs are getting used to the longer walks. But I just had a look at the distance app and it's showing that we've just gone past 25 kilometres, but of course I forgot to turn it on right at the start, so it's probably more like 27 or 28 kilometres.
Because we wandered around Italica.
Well, plus we wandered around Italica and I didn't turn it off there, so yeah, but anyway, good to be here. I'm glad to be here. I think the albergue is at the other end of town, so that's what you want. We just go a little bit further and we'll get there. And looking forward to a very cold cerveza and resting my feet, and we'll check into the albergue, do our washing, have our shower, and yeah, have a little poke around this town and see what it's all about. So, man, I'm happy to be here. So this is our room that we've got. We've managed to get a private room with a double bed. The gods are favouring us today, so now I'm going to go up to the rooftop, get my washing done, have a shower, then I'm going to have a cold beer.
Io faccio il mio cammino. Tutto qua.
So this should take me up to the rooftop, which is an excellent drying area. So this is a really nice little albergue. It has a good reputation.